Welcome back to Living Local. This year, the River Bend Foodbank has seen a more than 50% increase in the need for food. Thanks to our community's dedication to giving back, it has been able to rise to the challenge of providing support for people facing hunger in the Quad Cities. As this year comes to a close, the food bank is reflecting on how the past years prepared it for a new future. And joining us via Zoom to talk about all of that is Mike Miller, President and CEO of the River Bend Foodbank. Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's remind us first here before we get too far into this, who all the River Bend Foodbank actually serves.
All right, a lot of folks who are familiar with this think that we're primarily Quad Cities, and the food bank serves 23 counties. We help stock 300 food pantries across 23 counties in eastern Iowa and western Illinois.
I was going to say, I always remember seeing your map of your service area, and it's not small geographically. Now, what programs, like you mentioned, and services do you actually provide for the community?
Well, there's a variety of programs that are operated by the food bank itself. We operate the food pantries that are at North Park and South Park malls. We've got the backpack program that people are familiar with, getting meals to kids on the weekends around free and reduced lunch, school pantries, senior pantries, mobile food pantries, and the like. But the biggest thing that we do is stock 300 food pantries. The public often confuses the terms food bank and food pantry. And a food pantry is a room at a church or community center where a person can leave with a grocery bag of food to take home to their family. We're a 60,000 square foot warehouse that is stocking 300 of those food pantries across those 23 counties.
Yeah, you're having to fill a lot of different places. Now, Mike, how much have you seen the need for your services increase this year?
Oh, it's been like never before. Prior to COVID, the highest level of food insecurity that we saw in our 23 counties followed the Great Recession of 2009. There were about 146,000 people in need. We have worked for 10 years to get that down to 105,000 people pre-COVID, and then when COVID hit, that jumped to almost 160,000 people. So it was that 50% increase that you made reference to, and it is indeed the highest level of food insecurity that we've ever seen in our community.
Do you know, Mike, is it just the pandemic, or were there other factors, or do you know for sure?
Well, it's all the economic factors. It's the people furloughed from their jobs. It's the kids home from school who used to eat at school. And really the most amazing thing is that it's people who've never needed help before. Probably the most heartbreaking thing I've experienced during this time have been the number of people who've never needed help from a food bank or food pantry ever before in their lives, who have called us because they don't know what to do.
Wow, yeah, that is some tough stuff. Now, let's try to be positive here then. So how have you gotten increased support? How have people stepped up to help fill those needs you guys have now?
Well, right. I mean, it's multifold. So the community absolutely has helped us because of those. If you think back to kind of when COVID first hit and the shelves were empty at the store, then those stores didn't have anything to donate to us, and we have had to turn to buying more food. So our costs have increased considerably, and there have been a couple government programs that have been helpful during the time, although they're expiring December 31st. But the community's really helped us be able to respond, and I'm proud to be able to report that we've distributed 1/3 more food since COVID started because there's been so much more need, and really, really thankful that we've been able to do that, because it's been hard, right? Because we usually have 3,000 to 4,000 volunteers a year, and now we have just but a few hundred because of COVID. But then there's also been the financial support needed to support that increased amount of purchased food. So really, we're tired, but we're really thankful that we've been able to do this, and very thankful to the community for supporting it.
Absolutely. Now, Mike, besides obviously having to find more food, find the financial resources to get more of what you need, and handling fewer volunteers to help you, how have you guys been positioning yourselves to grow and then meet those increasing needs going into the upcoming new year? Because obviously I think we can all assume this isn't going to, the crisis isn't going to abate here coming up very quickly.
Yeah, that's a great point, Zane. So I would say there's two things. First of all, we're we've kind of switched our thinking from just trying to get through the crisis to how can we take what we've learned from the crisis and meet our long-term goal, which is to put an end to hunger in our community. And that really leads to the second thing, and that is because there is a greater awareness of hunger in our community than ever before. I think, one way to look at this is because pre-COVID, hunger was primarily a lower class problem, and it's kind of invisible. There are lots of folks I meet that say, oh, I can't believe that, 1 in 8 or 1 in 9 people in our community don't have enough food. But since COVID, it's now a middle class problem, right? It's there are people, almost everyone knows someone now who doesn't have enough food or who's been affected by the pandemic. It's now 1 in 7 people, 1 in 4 kids who don't have enough food, and that shouldn't be. And so where we're really looking to go in the future, we've had to increase what we're doing quite a bit. We distributed 19 million meals in 2019. We were over 21 million meals just through the end of November. And we're going to try to keep that up and take this increased amount of community involvement and community awareness of this issue of hunger. It's no longer an invisible problem. And it's going to be a long-term effort, right? So even with, if COVID were gone tomorrow, it's going to take us years to recover from the economic impact. But we intend to use this kind of higher level of visibility of the problem to achieve that long-term goal of putting an end to hunger in our community.
Yeah, and with that in mind, the most important question I think I have here, Mike, is how can the community continue to support what you're doing and help you meet those increasing needs?
Yeah, I really appreciate that question. There's 3 things it takes to make this work: food, time, and money. So let's first of all commit to becoming a community that never throws away food that could still be eaten by someone in need, but let's donate that instead. There will be a day when we're able to open our doors to volunteers again, and so folks can go to our website, riverbendfoodbank.org, and click and register themselves to volunteer for the time that's ready. And then, especially because of these couple government programs that are expiring at the end of the year, having to do even more purchasing at the beginning of the year, anyone who's able to help financially, that's always helpful. And that's also at the website, riverbendfoodbank.org, and click on the donate button. I'll also highlight that we also want to be there for the people in need. And so if you're at this time of year in the holidays and don't have enough food, please come get help. That's why we're here. And you can go to the website too, riverbendfoodbank.org, click on Need Food, and you can find out where you can get help too.
Absolutely. Mike Miller, President and CEO of River Bend Foodbank. Mike, thank you so much for joining us and all the work you guys are doing over there.
My pleasure, Zane. Merry Christmas to you.
You too. Now, if you want more information on how you can help donate or volunteer to the River Bend Foodbank, website's on your screen, riverbendfoodbank.org. We'll also have those details posted on our website too. That's ourquadcities.com.